Hello everyone, today I want to talk about things that I wish were in Red Dead Redemption 2, things that should have been in the game. Now this can vary from certain areas being explorable to things like more weapons being added, but regardless there's a bunch of things that I wish were actually in the game, so let's just get right into it. Now the first thing we have is actually two things, number one being the Colt Remington revolver and number two being the flintlock pistol. Now to talk about the Remington, I feel like the Remington could have been a great middle ground between the Schofield and the double action, a gun that Schofield lovers and double action lovers alike would both enjoy. This gun would have had a fire rate like the Cattleman but an accuracy that was closer aligned with the Schofield. I feel like this could have been a very cool and unique revolver if it had these features, and especially if it's how I described it, but I feel like this gun could have been one of the best if incorporated into the game. And now we have the flintlock. Now this would have been an incredibly unique and diverse weapon. It would have been like any other gun, especially one of the pistols, because this gun could only fire once and would have a huge punch to it. And I believe that this gun could have been like the Springfield but a handheld version. Just imagine dual wielding these bad boys. Granted, they would take a long time to reload, but goddamn they would punch hard. This would have been so badass if these bullets could go through like 5-6 people if the shot was lined up. Now I know the reason Guarma was not fully complete was because Rockstar just didn't have time to complete it, and they put entirely too much on their plate to actually finish the island. But I think it would have been really fucking cool to actually see a fully fleshed out Guarma. This is something that could have absolutely changed the game. Being able to go somewhere completely different from the rest of the map would have been incredibly cool. If you just look at the sheer size of this place, you can tell that there was a lot planned for it. There was a lot of cut missions from Chapter 5, a lot of cut stranger missions, treasure hunts, and a whole bunch more. But needless to say, this would have been such a cool feature to see, and it would have made Chapter 5 feel more like an actual chapter of the game, rather than just a random expedition that you had to complete. Not to mention, it would have made you miss the gang and feel more like you truly lost something if you were on the island for at least 3.5 gameplay hours. It would have made Chapter 5 feel so much more serious and detrimental. And not to mention, being in this brand new area with so much more to do would have just been fucking amazing.
There we go! Yes! They're going down!
The lack of bank robberies and robberies in general in Red Dead Redemption 2 is just a crime in and of itself. This game should have had so many more robberies to do. There's only 3 kinds of robberies you can really do in this game. Those 3 being stagecoach robberies, train robberies, and store robberies. May I add the fact that stagecoach robberies are limited. You get like 6 to do and then you can never do them again unless you replay the game. May I ask Wiley the Flying Duck we did not get bank robberies other than the ones we do in missions? This was the biggest fucking letdown. The lack of robberies in this game was just incredibly disappointing. This is something that should have been so much more fleshed out. You should have been able to rob every single bank on the map. You should have been able to hit a poker boat like you do in the story mode, and at the very fucking least you should have been able to see random high value coaches throughout the map and be able to rob them for a few $100s. Why we did not get any of this, I still have no fucking idea. The only thing that we got that could actually give you money was the train robberies. That's the only real kind of robbery you can do in this entire game, and that is just a crime. There should have been bank robberies, stagecoach robberies, poker boat robberies, horse robberies, and so much more. There's so many different kinds of robberies I can think of, but this is something that definitely should have been in Red Dead Redemption 2. It massively sucks that there are barely any robberies to do outside of the actual story missions. Okay, I'm not even going to fucking lie, this is something that really grinded my gears. The fact that you cannot even clean your weapon in any capacity when you're in camp is probably the stupidest thing in the world. Why isn't there an option to either clean your weapons in camp, or what my idea would be is to make a weapon cleaning station where you could clean all your weapons with just the press of a button. I love the weapon cleaning mechanic in this game, but the fact that it takes so goddamn long just to clean your weapons, and the fact that you can't just pull out your weapon while sitting down to clean it in camp like you see multiple other characters do throughout the game, really just kinda pisses me right the fuck off. Because to clean my weapon, I need to leave the camp just to go out into the dangerous wilderness to take care of my weapon. That just doesn't make sense. But yeah, this is something that really kinda grinds my gears, but something that should have been in Red Dead Redemption 2. And this is what could have been an incentive to come back to the Snowy Mountains after Chapter 1. The entire problem with the mountains in Red Dead Redemption 2 is that there is 0 point to come back. Granted, there is a legendary animal and a few collectibles and a horse, but outside of these, there's no real reason to come back up here. But what would have brought a lot of people to come back is a town being in the Grizzlies. An entire area of the snowy mountains got cut called Tempest Rim. This was originally supposed to be part of the prologue of the game, but unfortunately got scrapped due to story flow problems. But it makes me curious, did they originally intend for a town of some sort to be up here? But needless to say, I do believe that they should have put some kind of town up here, because it would have given you so much more of an incentive to come back. Because outside of a few niche things, at the end of the day, you really have no reason to come back here. So then comes the question, why did they make a whole temperature system for clothing? I mean, it's not really cold anywhere on the map besides up here. And since you have no real reason to come up here, there's no real reason to even have this system in the game. Now before anyone says it, yes, I know that there are gun tricks in Red Dead Online, but there's not really that many, and plus they should have just been in story mode to begin with. There are so many different kinds of gun tricks that Rockstar could have put into the game. Hell, even just the ones that were added into Red Dead Online, if those were just in the story mode. Maybe you could unlock them throughout the game as your Deadeye levels up. It would have been a really cool and unique feature. And not to mention, they could have had custom quick draws when you were playing with your weapon. But this would have been a really cool feature, and I wish it was in the story mode of Red Dead Redemption 2. Buying properties is originally something Rockstar meant to add, but was just cut from the game. This is something that would have been really cool to be able to do specifically at the end of the game, where you get all of this money but you barely have anything to do with it. This could have been a great way for people to have their own different houses throughout the map, and being able to customize them to your heart's content. The end of the game actually has a bunch of houses that get put up after the time skip, so why can't we buy these houses? This would have been an incredibly cool feature to be able to buy a bunch of different houses around the map that you can go to and put your valuables away. Maybe have a weapon customization area, a gun cleaning station, and other things like that. But overall, I think this would have been a really cool feature that a lot of people would have used. Being able to duel random people would have been a great feature in Red Dead Redemption 2. Unfortunately, there are very few gun duels in RDR 2, these ones being the ones that are in the Stranger mission, the noblest of men and a woman. There are only 4 gun duels even in this. There's the one against Calloway, Billy Midnight, Emmett Granger, and Flaco Hernandez. Besides these 4, there is never any option to duel anyone else, which in a Wild West game is kinda silly cause back in these days people would do it all the time. It was a common thing to settle disputes between one another. They even had it in the original Red Dead Redemption, but why is it not in the second one? It would have been really cool to be able to get good at dueling and be like how Jim Boy Calloway is seen throughout the game as this legendary gunslinger. But needless to say, this is definitely something that should have been in the game, and it could have improved people's drawing skills by a lot.
I'm a legend!
Yes, you are!
But anyway, what did you guys think of these things? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments what you thought. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Red Dead content. I would also like to say thank you to everybody for helping me reach 108 subscribers. It makes me very, very happy I finally reached 100, and I love every single one of you that helped me grow my channel, left likes, and viewed my content. I love every single one of you, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Easter if I do not see you again. Hoot hoot, everyone.